Good morning on this very wet, gloomy, rainy, cloudy day. It is going to be 57. That's the good part, but it's really soggy out there. So it's time to make the coffee again. And I'm enjoying my newly organized kitchen. So that always makes me happy. Well, today I'm going to try and stay home and get some clothes decluttering done. You guys know I always make plans in the morning, and then sometimes they materialize and sometimes they don't. Well, anyway, this little spice rack thing is working out great for the coffee, and it's a little more compact. So today I have to figure out if I'm going to leave my toaster oven here or if I'm going to put my air fryer here. Decisions. That's what happens when you get something new. So far I'm liking the microwave a lot. I just wish it was smaller. But it's, a regular sized microwave. I mean, I kind of knew that when I ordered it because I did measure. But, sometimes you visualize things in your head a little differently. Well, chocolate raspberry today. Yum. It's a good thing on this cold day. I still have a lot of clothes. I've been decluttering my clothes for, several years now. And I really did have a clothes hoard. I think I had a shopping problem. In fact, I know I had a shopping problem. But I did overcome it. And sometimes when you get passionate about things, you tend to get a little too much of what it is you're passionate about. So for me, that was always clothes. I loved to dress up. You wouldn't know it nowadays, but I loved to look nice and get dressed up, and always felt like, like I looked okay. But all that stuff isn't that important to me anymore. Now I'm all about comfort. Another thing that I was always buying was my craft things, my paints, my beads, anything that had to do with that. So I have a lot of that stuff, but I'm not getting rid of that because that could prove to be useful if I ever pick it up again. And if I don't, well, then, down the road it can always be donated. So I have the space, and if I have the space, I don't need to have an empty house. But I do want to downsize. I still have too much. Let's see, what else? Well, my small appliances, I have a lot of those, but I want to use those. And they give me pleasure. I really enjoy using my appliances. So I just needed to sort of tweak things here in my kitchen so that I could use them a little easier. And I think that'll work out just fine. So anyway, I have a lot of candles, but I do use those, so I buy those when they're on sale, and I burn candles all year long except for the summer. I don't burn candles much in the summer. It just gets too warm. So I guess we all have our, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it an addiction, maybe. But, could be worse. I used to drink coffee all day long. I did that, and I drank Diet Coke all day long. And I quit the Diet Coke cold turkey. It was like, no, that's not good for me. So I very rarely drink pop anymore. And I'm trying to transition more to water. But I do drink tea, iced tea. I like that. So I gave that up, and the coffee, I usually have 1 cup a day. Sometimes I'll have two. I'll have a cup in the morning and a cup in the afternoon. But I literally used to drink coffee all day long. And it may or may not have contributed to my GI problems. Who knows? But, no sense in worrying about it because what's done is done. So anyway, I still have lots and lots of food. I showed you my fully stocked up freezer and refrigerator again. Now it's my goal to just keep a reasonable amount of food in the house besides my stashes, but I'm talking about fresh food. And, you can always freeze it. If it starts to go a little wilted, like the lettuce and stuff, you can freeze that. Use it in smoothies, use it in soups, so you don't have to throw it away. So check your produce daily. Give it a look over and see what needs to be cooked up or frozen, and then you won't have much food waste, and you'll always have food to eat. All right, well, we'll take a look and see what's on the meal plan for today. But first, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. First sip of the day. Cheers. Oh, so good. I think I like this even better than hazelnut. This is my new number one. Too bad Aldi won't have it again, probably. Maybe next Christmas. But I do have one more spare box, so I will enjoy it. So, okay, I will meet you in a little bit. I'll take you into the refrigerator. All right, let's take a look in the fridge, see what's the meal plan for today. All right, fully stocked up again. I have some pickles, homemade pickles that I took out yesterday. I'm going to eat those for brunch. Celery and onion. I have half of a cream cheese and vegan lunch meat sandwich that I'm going to eat. Finish that up. I didn't finish it yesterday. Let's see. This is going to be dinner tonight since I'm staying home. I'm finally going to make those peppers. I have some of this raspberry crisp salad. I might have some of that with it. I'm going to also have some of this yogurt. Here's the peppers. I'm going to take those out. And I think I'm also going to add some of this squash to the mix. So that'll be dinner. Then there's more squash in here. Still have that cabbage. Cabbage lasts a long time. I have carrots and 3 small heads of iceberg. All right, so that will be my breakfast and dinner for today. And I will meet you over at the stove. All right, well, here's my breakfast this morning. I heated up the salami and cream cheese on this ciabatta roll. I have my beautiful pickles. I love the colors in here. It's cucumber, onion, peppers, and carrots. And I put a little bit of turmeric in there so it makes it nice and bright and yellow. And here I have some yogurt, and I added some cinnamon and vanilla. and sweetener, of course. So that's going to be my breakfast this morning. If I'm still hungry, I can eat either an apple or a mandarin or an orange. So I will not be going hungry, and hopefully you won't be going hungry either. Utilize your food bank, utilize your markdown food, whatever you can to get nutritious food. Just because you don't have a lot of money, you don't have to eat junk food. All right, so there is my breakfast today. And eat up every morsel. This was left over from yesterday, so I'm going to eat it today. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm finally going to make these peppers, more pretty colors. I'm going to stick some squash in there too. All right, I'll be back. All right, today's a pajama day. It's nice and gray out there. I actually like rainy days. Makes me feel all cozy because I light my candles, I turn on my little Christmas lights, and it just, I don't know, I like it. All right, here is the TVP I made a couple days ago. So those are going into the peppers. These are the peppers I have, 2 green and a red. They came in my flash food box. So very inexpensive. I did not pay top dollar, and actually these peppers are several days old and they still look okay. So here's the rice I cooked, and then here is the homemade tomato sauce that I also made from tomatoes from the flash food box. So this meal is not costing me much at all, because the flash food box, I can't get it open. These are so hard to open because the flash food box was only $5. So here's the tomato sauce I made, and I did season that with spaghetti seasoning. I'm also going to add some of this squash from the food box, and some sweet onion. I have more. So all this is just from a $5 flash food box. The rice I bought probably at Dollar Tree, so that is always in my stash. The TVP I usually get either at Mark's or on Amazon, and I always keep that handy too. Then I have these little cherry tomatoes that I'll be adding to the squash too. So, okay. And this TVP, as a meat substitute, you can keep it prepared in your refrigerator and then take some out and put a little taco seasoning on it, and you'll have stuff for tacos, or you can add it to things like stuffed peppers, or you can stick it in your spaghetti sauce. So it's a nice thing to have made ahead. And if you want to see how I made it, I have a video from a couple days ago that I show you how to make it. Alright, well, the first thing I'm going to do is mix my rice and TVP and tomato sauce together. And I'm going to prep up these peppers, and then I'll be back. Alright, well, I want to roast these peppers a little bit before I stuff them, because I don't like them real crunchy. I like them on the softer side. So I have some avocado oil here that I'm just going to drizzle on here. And also, I have some garlic salt here that I'm going to add. And I'm going to add some pepper. And I'm going to pop these in the oven until they're partially baked. I'm not sure how long that'll take, and in the meantime I'll mix up the stuffing. Okay, I have my peppers cooking in my oven there. Still trying out my microwave to see if I like it. I'm going to put all this TVP in here. And what's too much for the peppers, I think I might try making some meatballs out of. I'm going to add part of the rice. I don't know how much I'll need. So I'll say half of the rice. The rest I can use in a stir fry. Let's see. Maybe a little more. So that's enough for a stir fry. I'm always looking for ways to create more meals. So, alright, now I'm going to add some of this tomato sauce. And this was just tomatoes that were really, really ripe that I made in the slow cooker. Alright, so I'm going to put some of that in there. And I kind of just go by the look and the feel of something. So that definitely needs more. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of soy sauce in here, because soy sauce will give it a meaty flavor. So this definitely needs more. Sorry about the microwave beeping. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, I have the timer set, so that is the timer on the microwave. So I'm just going to keep adding until I feel like I have enough tomato sauce, and I'm probably going to add it all. I'm also going to add some pepper. Then I'm going to taste it to see if it needs more salt. Now the inspiration recipe that I found, it's for regular stuffed peppers, but it calls for smoked cheese, which sounded really good. I don't have any smoked cheese, but what I can do is add the shredded cheese that I'm going to add, and I could add a little bit of liquid smoke along with it, which I think that's what I'll probably do. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let me give this a taste. I think it's good on the salt. Alright, I'm going to go get the cheese. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit of this applewood smoked liquid smoke. This is optional, but since the recipe, the inspiration recipe, called for smoked cheese, I figured I'd give that a try. And then I have some shredded Colby Jack cheese. So that's the cheese I'll be adding. You can add whatever kind of cheese you want, mozzarella, Italian blend. This is what I happen to have. So, and you can add mushrooms to this. I'm going to also add some garlic. So there we go. And then I'll top it with some more cheese. So a good healthy teaspoon of garlic. A little more, because I like garlic, it's healthy. If you don't like garlic, leave it out, because it's your food and you can do with it what you want. All right. I'm going to also add some parsley to this. That's also optional. So I have here some parsley. If you don't like parsley, leave it out. You could make these even Mexican flavor if you wanted to. You could put some cilantro in there. I also have some basil. You could make these with yeah, senior moment. Any Mexican flavors. So I'm going to mix this up real well and give it a taste. And I think it'll be good. All right, let's give it a taste. This is probably going to be a bit much for peppers, but I don't know. I like to overstuff them. So maybe not. Tasty. So there we go. I have my peppers baking in the oven. I'm still trying out my microwave over there. So far so good. I like it. Alright, I'll be back when I stuff the peppers. While I'm at it, I had all these little cherry tomatoes, and they're really still in good shape. But what I want to do is, the ones that were starting to get a little wrinkly, I put in here, and I cut them in half. And I'm going to top the stuffed peppers with these. But the rest of them, I'm going to pickle with some other veggies, because pickled tomatoes are excellent on a burger, anything like that. So I've just been looking through them, and like I said, most of these are in beautiful shape. And then I'm going to save these little containers and leave the top on. And I'm going to try and do a little bit of winter sewing in here. I'll put these like maybe in a shoe box. I don't know, it's an experiment. And then I'll put them outside, and we'll see what happens. It's another fun experiment, because you know I always like to experiment. So I have a bunch of these little containers, and you know, worst case scenario, I'm out some seeds if it doesn't work. So, alright, I'm going to finish up cutting up these. I'm still waiting for my peppers, and then I'm going to stuff my peppers. Okay, I have some of these little mini peppers left. I got these quite a while ago. So I'm going to cut these and put them in there too. And you know, if you have too much produce, just pickle it. I mean, it's so tasty, and it'll extend the life of it for quite a while. And it's so easy to do. All you need is vinegar, water, some salt, and whatever other seasonings you want to put in there. So, you know, it's a great way to preserve your food. Just make sure that when you're doing this, to check over your produce. and make sure there's no mold starting to grow. Now these little peppers I've had for probably 2 or 3 weeks, and these two are the last of them. I pickled some of the other ones before, but I almost prefer these in a salad as opposed to just the plain peppers. I enjoy the pickled peppers. And my buddies like them too. Okay. All right. We will give you some peppers because I know you like your veggies, huh? Yummy. All right, and to this too, I'm going to add some sweet onion. And I also have some garlic that I need to peel yet. And in my last flash food box, I got 2 cucumbers. Now I probably won't eat 2 cucumbers before they go bad. So I'm also going to put some cucumbers in here. And maybe I'll make another jar of just cucumbers and pickles. And pickled onions are delicious. They're great on burgers. They're great on everything. You can even pickle squash. You can pickle zucchini. Now these are too far gone. I wouldn't pickle these, but I would cook them. So, okay, my peppers are almost done. And I've got a couple projects going on here, as you can see. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, do you ever have garlic that looks like this? It's all dried up. Well, you don't really need to throw that away. As long as it's all dried up, put it in your spice blender and make garlic powder out of it. I mean, it's just dehydrated naturally. So, before you throw away your food, think about how can I use this in a creative way where I don't have to waste it. And then Google it and see if you can get some ideas. Do a little research. You don't want to end up with food poisoning. So do a little research and see what you can do with certain foods. So I'm going to go ahead and make the brine for this now, and I'll make a cup of vinegar, a cup of water. That's usually a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 to 2 tablespoons of salt, depending on how salty you like it. I like to add a little bit of complete seasoning to mine. I put some turmeric in it, about half a teaspoon, and some pickling spice, however much you like. You could put in a teaspoon, a tablespoon. The flavoring is up to you. As long as you get the salt, the vinegar, and the water ratios right, you really can't go wrong. But like I said, go online and look up some recipes and follow those directions, because I certainly don't want to be responsible for anybody getting ill. All right, my peppers are cooked. I'm going to stuff them now, and then I'm going to finish my pickles, and that'll be it for my dinner tonight. So I'll have dinner cooking by 1:30 today, and it'll be ready for my evening meal. All right, let's stuff some peppers. All right, here we go. I was going to say with the pickled veggies, if you want a little bit of heat, you can even add some of this Tony Chachere's to it. Now you do want to bring the mixture to a boil, and then you pour it over your veggies, let it cool, and then you refrigerate it. These have to be kept in the refrigerator. They're not canned. So I'm going to just add a little bit of this Tony Chachere's, just a tiny bit, to the tomato topping. Not much. You can add it to this too if you want a little bit of heat. but I'm just doing it for a little bit of extra flavor. Sometimes I like a little bit of a kick to my food, but I don't like heat. All right, so my peppers are not totally mushy. They're just pre-cooked. Bring you a little bit closer. Whoa, what's happening here? There, okay. All right, I'm going to take my stuffing and pack in the stuffing on all these peppers. And I'm looking forward to eating these. So, if you aren't real creative, if you're a newer cook, or if you're just trying to learn to cook, the internet is your friend. I know the internet isn't always your friend, but when it comes to getting recipe ideas, there are lots of times where even though I don't follow recipes per se, I look for inspiration recipes, and I try and find ideas of things that I can combine, that I can use up. So there's websites out there that you can put your ingredients in, or even in Google you can put your ingredients in that you have and just Google recipes, and it'll give you some ideas of how to use up your ingredients. I mean, I do it all the time. And after a while you kind of get to know what goes with what, and you know, but especially if you're just starting out, you know, do that. Look up some new ideas. And even if you're a seasoned cook and you're tired of the same old, you know, look up some new and fresh ideas. So I'm really packing this in here. So, and if you're low on funds, get yourself some TVP. Now the initial cost, you know, is a little bit, but it goes a long way because it swells up. So, you know, if you get yourself a package and you think, well, there's not much in here, well, it swells up, and you can stretch your ground beef that way, or ground turkey or pork, or whatever your meat of choice is. Oh, this is just going to be perfect. And this will be enough. I'll probably only eat half of a pepper, so this is enough for 6 meals. And very cheap, very inexpensive. Probably each pepper doesn't cost me more than $1.50. I don't know, I haven't done the math, but you know, the flash food box, or if you have a food pantry, you know, that's all things, good things you can use. So there we go. And I think I'm going to make a little bit of room, if I can, to make some of this squash too. So this I'm going to put on top of the peppers. I'm just going to evenly distribute this among the peppers for a little more flavor. And then I'm going to top it with some cheese. Now the cheese that's in your pepper mix here is going to hold your meat, not meat, together. So, you know, it'll hold the ingredients together a little bit. I'm excited about the pickled tomatoes. I made my last batch with pickled green tomatoes, and I've used the brine a couple times already, and it is just delicious. So I figured I might as well use up the cherry tomatoes the same way. Now I'm not going to put the cheese on top of here until these are almost done cooking, because I just want to melt the cheese on top. I don't want it to burn. So, okay, technically this is already all cooked, but your peppers will continue to cook some. So, if you like your peppers crunchy, you don't really have to pre-cook them. But at this point, really all I'm going to do is heat up this food because everything is already cooked. All right, that looks good to me. I think that will be delicious. And I'm going to cut up some of this. Lizzie, oh boy. So here they are. And technically you can just heat up the filling at this point and eat it that way. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut up a little bit of this squash because this does need to be eaten sooner rather than later. But that's the thing when you get marked on food, some of it you have to prep right away. And some of it you don't. Some of it will last for a week or so. But some of these squash were really nice, and some of them really need to be eaten up. And these guys like squash too. Here we go. So, you can even use them, I think, in making dog food. If your pups like veggies, before you throw things like that away, make dog food with it. Make some rice, some maybe some meat, whatever you feed your dog. If you feed your dog vegan food, you can combine the veggies with that. Can't really see what I'm doing here, can you? So I'm just going to use up these 3 little squash and season those up, and then this is going to go in the oven. Now if the squash still isn't done, then I'll just take the peppers out and continue cooking the squash. But we'll see how this goes. All right. I'm going to season the squash. Squash to me is kind of bland, so I am going to season it with some of the Tonys. Alright, so I'm going to bake this in the oven and we'll see if it's tasty. Right, I want to finish up these pickles, so in here I'm going to try a different brine this time. Since it's tomatoes, I want to make like a balsamic kind of brine. So I have half a cup of balsamic vinegar here. To that I'm going to add half of a cup of just white vinegar. You can make this with any kinds of vinegar, apple cider, white vinegar. So just enough to make a cup. All right. I'm also in here going to add a couple tablespoons of sugar. I don't want these real sweet, but I do want them a little bit sweet. So a couple tablespoons of sugar. This is to taste, and whatever you like. A little sweeter, a little less sweet. I have a lot of this coarse salt, the pink salt, so I'm going to add a good heaping tablespoon of the pink salt, a little more, like a tablespoon and a half. my buddy wants to go out. Just a minute, buddy. I'm going to add a teaspoon of dill. Just a minute, puppies. And a teaspoon of pickling salt. Sometimes, or the pickling spice, sometimes that makes it a little hot. A heaping teaspoon, because that has mustard and pepper in there. And then I'm also going to add a teaspoon of the complete seasoning. That's really good in pickles. And this is a little salty too, so that's why I don't want to add too much salt. And that's it. So to my mixture here, so I'm going to add my 2 vinegars to this and get that going. And then I'm also going to add a cup of water. All right. Now you can taste your brine and see if you like it. And add different things to it, whatever you think you might like. You can add all kinds of different herbs to this. All right, I'm going to let this come to a boil, and I'm going to pour it over my tomatoes and let this sit in the fridge for a couple days, and it'll be tasty. I forgot, I wanted to add a little bit of turmeric to this because it's healthy, and I like to add it whenever I can just to get some of the benefits of it. Now you want to cook this until the salt dissolves, and that's it. Easy peasy, and this will be good for at least a couple weeks, if not longer. You'll know when it isn't good anymore. The vegetables will start getting mushy. I'm going to give this a taste. And this will also be getting the taste from the acid of the tomatoes. So you might want to add a little extra sugar. It's pretty tasty. All right. There it goes. And keep an eye on it. You don't want it to boil over. Once it comes to a boil, that's good. All right. Oh, I think I better use a funnel. I don't trust my pouring skills. You just want to make sure everything's covered. Now I have some extra here that I'm going to refrigerate. And that's it, folks. Just make sure all your veggies are underneath the brine. Okay, my peppers are almost done too, and it's 1:15, and that'll be my dinner. So that's it on the cooking today. I'm going to go have a cup of tea and relax a little bit, and maybe I can motivate myself to do a little decluttering. I don't know. We'll see. I'll either be back with a declutter project or with my dinner. Well, no decluttering today. Time for dinner. Here it is. I don't know if I'll eat 1 or 2 of these, but I'm looking forward to that. Then I took the rest of the squash that I baked, and I poured some of the balsamic vinegar over it and added some of my homemade pork seitan to it. So I'll thicken that gravy up tomorrow maybe and eat it over rice. So another meal. So that's, what, 7 meals, 6 meals, depending on how much I ate, all from my flash food buy. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.